Alright folks, I'm back once again for another episode of Video Game Reviews, and this time around we're going to review Sonic the Hedgehog 3 for the Sega Genesis. Now this game was released in 1994, and this of course is the next sequel in the Sonic the Hedgehog series. Now, the story for this one goes, after Sonic and Miles defeat Dr. Robotnik at the end of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the Death Egg crash lands on a mystical floating landmass called Angel Island. And as Robotnik starts to repair the damaged station, he meets up with Knuckles the Echidna. Now, Knuckles is the last surviving member of an ancient Echidna civilization that once inhabited the island, as well as the guardian of the Chaos Emeralds, which grant the island all of its levitation powers. Now, however, he knows that Sonic and Tails are going to try and track him down, and because of this, he can't. And he realizes that he also realizes he can use the emeralds to power the ship. So, Robotnik dupes Knuckles into believing Sonic is trying to steal the emeralds. So yeah, looks like Robotnik's up to no good, folks. So Sonic and Tails approach Angel Island in the biplane, in their biplane called the Tornado. Now Sonic is still in possession of the Chaos Emeralds from the events of Sonic the Hedgehog 2. So he jumps off the plane and turns into Super Sonic, zooming towards the island. Once they get there, Knuckles starts to ambush Sonic from the underground and knocks the Chaos Emeralds from him, which return him to normal. He then steals the emeralds from them and disappears inland. And as Sonic and Tails travel through all the levels together, they frequently meet up with Knuckles, who hinders the progress with various traps. At the launch base zone, Sonic uses a spare Egg-O-Matic to travel to the Death Egg, and ends up encountering Knuckles on a girder. And then, of course, Knuckles attempts to stop Sonic, but Knuckles ends up being defeated when the Death Egg relaunches and the girder collapses, which sends Knuckles plummeting into the water. So Sonic continues to a deck on the Death Egg, where he fights and defeats Robotnik's big arm machine. This destroys the Death Egg and makes it fall out of orbit and explodes. So there's your storyline for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Now this game is divided into 6 zones, each zone comprising of 2 acts. Now the levels are populated with Robotnik's robots, which are called Badniks, which can be beaten by jumping on them or using a spin dash attack. At the end of the first act of each level, there's a mini-boss fight, and then you have a full boss fight with Robotnik at the end of the second act of each level. Once you get to a new level, you can save your game to one of 6 different save slots. Now, of course, there's rings in this game, same as your health system, and the same rules for death applies to previous games, and there's previous 2 games, and there's 2 types of special stages in this one. When you get at least 50 rings and pass through a checkpoint, you can warp to the first type, in which you bounce up a gumball-like, machine-like corridor to earn power-ups by hitting a switch. And both sides of the corridor are lined with flippers, which disappear when the character bounces on them, and the switch drops when both flippers supporting it are removed. Now, the second type is triggered by entering giant rings found in secret passages, which involve running around a 3D map and passing through all of a number of blue spheres arranged in patterns. Passing through a blue sphere will change it to red, and touching a red sphere will result in you leaving the stage unless you've just completed the cycle around an arrangement of blue spheres, in which case all the spheres would turn into harmless rings. Removing all the blue spheres gives you a Chaos Emerald. And if Sonic manages to get all 7 of the emeralds, then he can become Super Sonic at will. And that, of course, makes him invincible to most of the obstacles in his way. And there's a competitive mode in this game. There's 2 players. The 2 players control Sonic, Tails, or Knuckles the Echidna, and race through one or all the 5 stages that don't appear in the main game. In these same stages, a single player can compete against the clock in time attacks. Hi. She had her course. Yeah, now the competitive mode is the only way to use Knuckles in Sonic 3 without attaching Sonic and Knuckles to the Sonic 3 cartridge. Now, this game, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, as well as Sonic and Knuckles, were originally intended to be a single game. However, because of time and financial constraints, they ended up being released separately. The Sonic and Knuckles cartridge features lock-on technology that lets it be physically attached to the Sonic 3 cartridge, creating a combined game, Sonic 3 and Knuckles. The lock-on function is also available in some digital releases, which include the Virtual Console service on the Wii. So yeah, this is a pretty good game, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And if you have a Sega Genesis, then I would highly recommend this game. And actually, speaking of Sonic and Knuckles, we're going to discuss that game in the next episode of this series. For right now, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all again next time.